Oklahoma. If you guys watched our first video on RC basics, must-watch guide to buying your first hobby grade RC, one of the things we talked about in that video was making your experience better. And that's important for beginner RCers, because we want them to have that good experience and we want them to remain in the hobby. We want them to be motivated and excited about the hobby. So we talked about a couple of things you can do to make your experience of your first hobby grade RC a little better. And one of the things that was mentioned was upgrading your charger. Now, it's not a must by any means, but in my opinion, it'll make your experience a little bit better. Now, if you buy an RTR ready to run, you're going to get a charger. If you buy an electric vehicle, clearly, you'll get a charger. It's going to be a quick charger, and it's not going to have a whole lot of options. The amperage is going to be very, very limited. So you're probably going to be, it may have two settings. You know, if it's a LiPo quick charger, it may have, you know, say a 2 amp setting and then a 1.5 or maybe a 3S or something to that effect. But you're not going to have a real wide range of amperages that you can select from. It's not going to discharge. It's probably not going to monitor your batteries as far as you being able to select, you know, a feature on there, so it will show you what the charge is of each individual cell that you're charging or discharging. So, you know, the batteries, when you get into these hobby grades, they're not cheap. We already talked about that. Especially if you get into the very, very high milliamp batteries, you can spend some money. I mean, it's nothing to spend 70, 80 bucks on a battery pack. So you want to be able to take care of those batteries and increase the longevity of them. You need to be able to take care of it to the best of your ability. So I'll tell you why I'm putting this video out and what kind of inspired me to do it. There's plenty of videos on chargers out there. I'm not the first guy to do this, but a friend of mine just bought his very first RC. He bought a Wraith RTR, and we were talking about chargers, and he was asking, you know, what should I get and what should I upgrade? So although I could sit and talk for 2 hours about this stuff, no problem. We're going to focus on chargers, and we're going to focus on giving information to the beginner who's just getting into this and doesn't quite know what to get. So when you're looking for a charger, you know, your batteries, if you get an RTR, then your battery is going to be set up. It's going to have a matching plug. You're going to have a charger that'll charge your battery, and you're going to be good to go. It'll get you by. The problem when you start getting multiple batteries from different manufacturers is, number one, the plug probably doesn't match. And if you're unfamiliar with that, then you're stuck. You're at the mercy of that, or getting somebody to do it for you, or you're at the mercy of buying a certain manufacturer's battery pack when you might have a cheaper option over here, but you have to buy that one because it's the one that has the plug that you need. So I highly recommend having somebody teach you how to solder. If you don't know how to solder, it's pretty easy to pick up, and learn how to put these other connectors on so that you can buy the battery of your choice and put whatever connector you want on it to match your vehicle. When you're charging your batteries, you heard me talk about amperage. Now, I'll tell you, always go by, your battery will tell you right on the package, right on the label, what the max charge rate is. I would highly recommend that you go by that, especially if your battery's under warranty. However, good rule of thumb, on your milliamp hours, which is your big number, 5,000, 2,200, 3,500, 3,800, whatever. It's very simple. The good rule of thumb is add a decimal, and that's how many amps you're going to want to charge your pack at. 5,000 milliamp, charge it at 5 amps. A 2,200 milliamp hour pack, you're going to charge it at 2.2 amps, and so forth. You get the picture. You also, it's a good feature to have a charger that will tell you what the voltage is on each cell. You know, your LiPos have a balance plug, and basically what that does is Well, it just balances your cells. It makes sure that all the cells are pretty close, if not right at the exact same voltage between the three of them. So having that feature to me is important because that's battery maintenance. You know, you can monitor your batteries and make sure that the cells are still holding the same charge that they should be, along with the other ones. So your charge rate, you know, if you've got a 5,000 milliamp pack and you only have a 2 amp quick charger, you're going to be sitting there for a while. And there's nothing more discouraging than getting your first RC vehicle and you run it and you're down for an hour or over an hour because you have a quick charger with a huge battery that just can't charge it. It can, it's just not fast enough. So you're down. Unless you have multiple batteries. That's something I'll tell you, I would recommend getting a second battery. At the minimum, get a second one. So, I will tell you, you can go out and spend 250 bucks on a charger. You could probably spend more than that. And if you know me, if you've seen my other videos, my rigs, anything like that, I don't mind spending the money if it's for a good quality product. I don't have any issues doing that. However, there are options out there that are good products and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. So a charger has never really been something that I have gone out and spent $200 to $250 on. I choose to spend my money elsewhere, but in the same token, I still want a decent charger. So I'm not going to recommend, you know, a certain brand over another brand. I'm going to tell you what I use and what I like about it. So take it for what it is. Like I said, I'm not going to compare 5 or 6 different chargers. I can tell you, I've owned a lot of chargers. You know, those of you that remember back to the Super Brain 959, I owned that charger. So this is what I use. Now, this is a Venom. It's a Venom Pro 2 charger. This is not a new charger. This has been out for some time. It's a good charger. It's NiCad, nickel metal, LiPo. It's got your balance ports over here on the side. Just about any kind of adapter you can think of comes with it. And I'll tell you, that's what sold me on this charger. It's got cell monitoring. It'll discharge adjustable amperage to the 10th, i.e. 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, which is just about everything you're going to need in a charger. This charger is going to do everything that a beginner RC or even your average RCer is going to need it to do. And this charger is about 70 bucks. We paid $69.99 for it, you know, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on where you buy it. But guys, you can almost buy two, well, you can buy 2 of these and run 2 batteries at one time for less than what you can get some of these 2 and 3 battery chargers for that'll do 2 and 3 at one time. So that might be something to consider. Few specs on the charger, and I'm not a Venom, you know, pro staffer or anything like that. So let's see, it'll go up to 6 amps. I'll tell you, I don't even think I own a battery that's over 5,000 or 5,500. So up to 6 amps, that's, you know, that's pretty high. I mean, that's a big expensive battery. NiCad nickel metal is up to 15 cells. So 1 to 15 cells if you're still running the nickel metal batteries. God, that's a huge battery. I mean, that's big. It'll go up to, this is the kicker, it'll go up to 6S on your LiPos, a 6S battery. And like I said, all the balance plugs are right here. So, you know, it's nice. Now, the big thing, discharge rate of an amp, it'll go up to an amp on a discharge rate. The big thing that sold me on this charger is all of these different plugs right here. All these different adapters that come in this kit. Now these come in the kit. You know, take Silverback for example. The 2S LiPo that runs the winch is a JST plug. I didn't have to worry about that because this has a JST adapter in it. So you're not buying all these different chargers or swapping out a whole bunch of plugs because this thing has just about everything you need. I'll tell you what it's got in there. It's got an EC5 and EC3 plug. It's got your Dean's plug, your Tamiya, a standard receiver plug, glow plug, alligator clips, and a JST plug. The only one that I had to buy was this one, which is my Traxxas plug. Other than that, I haven't had to buy another adapter ever for this charger. So, you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but in my opinion, 70 bucks is a very, very good investment for a charger that's going to last you. We've had this charger for, like I said, a while now. We haven't had any issues with it. And it's 70 bucks. I mean, you go out and buy a little quick charger, say a little reflex charger, a little reflex lipo charger, it's going to cost you 20. You know, and that thing, if I think it charges at 2 amps, you know, so spend the extra money and get you a good charger, and one that I promise you, when you start getting into multiple batteries, different vehicles, you know, if you get into planes or boats or something like that, you know, E-flite batteries, you know, all those batteries have different plugs on them, and you're either going to need to change them, or you know, you're going to have a charger that'll charge them. So Venom Pro 2, 70 bucks. That's my pick. I think it's a great average charger, and I think it'll work for just about any average RCer out there. You know, racers are probably going to want a charger that will do a little bit more, and there's chargers that'll do more than this one. So Venom Pro 2, that's my advice. Anyway, hope this helped some people out there. If you think this will help somebody, please share it with them. Turn them on to the video. It's just my opinion on the Venom Pro 2. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. We've got new videos coming out. We try to get them out every week. Check us out on Facebook, K9 RC Oklahoma, and we'll see you next time.